Hello and welcome to Miller Realty Group's Talk of the Town Carolinas. I'm your host, Patty Mercer, getting ready to have a conversation with York County Council Chair, Michael Johnson, to get the biggest announcements happening in York County and see why it's the Talk of the Town. So good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
You look a little different. Let's see, Chairman for, of course, the York County Council, Michael Johnson. Thank you so much for all that you do, especially as it relates to informing us. We passed a gas tax. Are we able to see some of the benefits of that money?
We're not really fully there yet. I think by 2024 we will see the maximum impact of it. They're telling us that York County will become one of the largest receivers of C funds at that point in the state of South Carolina, which will be welcome. It will be.
Sure.
We've been a donor county for the last 10 years where we've given more away than we actually collect. Mm-hmm. So we want to, this will be a great opportunity. But even then, if you think about it, right now we're getting around $7-8 million a year. Let's say it doubles to $16 million. Last year I had 6.4 million requests just in District 1.
Well, one thing about it, we're growing so fast that we can, the penny sales tax has made a huge difference. The gas tax looks like we're going to get some good opportunities there. But now we're talking about even preparing for a mass transit system. What are our thoughts? How close are we to maybe seeing some development in that area?
Well, we're probably 15, 20 years away from really actually saying it's coming. The main reason is it's $1.5 billion.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
And that is a ton of money. And so we're going to have to find a way for the federal government to give us half, the state to come up with a quarter, and then we'll come up with a quarter locally. By the time that happens, it'll be $2 billion. So the numbers increase. But what we are doing right now, which is really exciting to me, is we're creating a mass transit corridor plan where we are actually mapping out where it would come out of kind of the 485 corridor, down what part of Fort Mill will it come through? How will it go to Rock Hill? If we don't start preserving that land now, we have no chance of getting it. And so we're actually having the discussions. Rock Hill, Mayor Geddes and I have already begun to have those discussions, and we're going to have the county staff and Rock Hill and the town of Fort Mill all sit down and say, where do we want this? Let's preserve the land, let's get it going. And then, quite honestly, the opportunity to have the Panthers here and what that could mean. One of the things that David Tepper wants is light rail. He wants to be able to move people down.
Right.
So if we were chosen, and it does come to York County, which if you read all the papers, it sounds like it is, but if it does, we need to be able to capitalize on that and maybe take that from 15 years down to 10 years and try to shorten that timeline. We
start hearing a little of this vision that David Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, has. It's exciting.
It's very exciting, and I keep hearing this rumor that they might be coming, so it is exciting.
Well, here's the thing, though. There's York County and there's also Lancaster County, so I'm kind of like holding my breath. I don't want to be disappointed.
Well,
what do you think?
I don't want to give anything away, but Senator Greg Gregory actually tweeted out last week that it wasn't coming to Lancaster County. So from that standpoint, I may be the only one following Greg on Twitter, but I read it and kind of chuckled to myself. I think the Panthers are looking at York County very seriously.
Yeah.
I know that lots of local representatives have met with them and county officials, and we're all excited about the opportunity. Wherever they choose, whether it's Fort Mill, Rock Hill, anywhere through that I-77 corridor, we're all excited, and it's going to have a large impact. It's going to increase property values. It's going to bring a natural commercial business that is going to grow up around it. You're probably going to see apartments. You'll see townhomes. You'll kind of see all of that mixed use, more urban area setting, almost like you see along the light rail corridor in Charlotte. You're going to see that grow up around it because that's who's going to be the most attracted to it. It's an exciting possibility. It's going to bring traffic. It's going to bring some other things. We have to plan for that, and so hopefully the state's going to work with us and help us build the infrastructure so that we can all welcome the Panthers to South Carolina.
It would be kind of cool to be out getting your bread and milk at the grocery store and happen to be behind one of the Panthers players or something.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be very exciting. I think we're going to have the opportunity to be exposed and have our local teams exposed to another level of football. If you think Rock Hill is Football City, USA, all the NFL players that have come out of there, imagine what happens when the NFL starts practicing.
I know. It's going to be very exciting. Let's talk about budget. York County Council, you've got some good news in terms of just things that are happening in York County and also in our government buildings.
It is. Well, we just opened the new administrative government building back in February, had our first meeting. I think we've had 3 or 4 there now. That's a fantastic building. Everyone should come out. And one of the main things we were able to do is consolidate. We were able to shut down a lot of buildings we were renting. We were spending about $250,000 a year on rent. Well, now we're not, and that money is being put into the current building that we're at. We've opened a new public works building in which we're doing recycling, because of that, we've been able to take over the recycling program for TKK.
That is so great.
Because they had to stop recycling,
yes.
And so we've been able to assist them. We're in negotiations with Fort Mill to do the same, and I think you'll see even more municipalities. So great things are happening, and what I'm most excited about is most of these are coming in on time, and as of right now on the overall project, we're about $1.5 billion to the good. So that is fantastic. Million.
Look at York County. There's a lot of different and unique parts of York County. Rural, trending, development, commercial. How are you as a county council kind of looking at trying to figure out the best way to figure all this out?
Well, it's a good question because we've actually adopted it now. We are making, they call them planning areas, I call them overlays. But if you think about it, we're going to try to divide the county into 3 and 4 areas. Okay. Certainly an urban area, a rural area, a trending urban, or maybe a just now trending out of rural. We'll leave that to staff, but the goal is to start passing ordinances that make sense from a planning standpoint to where you live. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, TKK has a huge advantage. When they plan and they decide what they want in an area, they have a very tight area that they're planning for. Well, in York County unincorporated area, I'm planning for parts of Fort Mill, but I'm also planning for the beautiful Bethesda community and yes. And McConnell's and all those areas. That is a huge burden that we have to try to balance that out. So what we'll do is we'll set, this is what we're going to do here, this is what we'll do there, yeah. And they'll be different. And as the area grows and it begins to grow up and you start seeing more and more houses, and the whole idea of that the planning regulations will step up, and
okay.
it won't make it harder, but maybe what you'll see instead of mailbox is you'll see road into a neighborhood.
Gotcha.
And that's how the area changes, and we really need to get ahead of that. One size does not fit all, and the county council has realized that, and we've made it one of our goals for 2019 to pass some type of planning area.
Impact fees. I mean, right now, our kids, the impact to growth that it has on our schools, that money is where? I know that it's being charged to the developers.
It is.
Building homes, it doesn't seem to be slowing it down.
No. We've not seen any real slowdown. In fact, I talked with some people in the Fort Mill School District today, and they said that year over year, it is a little slower, but 2018 was a huge year. But if you compare it to 17 and 16, they're over 20% larger growth than in those years.
Wow.
So we are still booming in this area. So the impact fee, they're collecting it.
Okay.
The Fort Mill School District is holding it.
Okay.
I'd love to see them spend it, start helping us reduce our debt. A motion to dismiss was heard in circuit court Tuesday, and the judge hasn't called to consult me on how I feel about it, but I'd love to see him to dismiss the HBA lawsuit and to allow the Fort Mill School District to collect that money and hopefully reduce all our taxes.
And is there anything else that you would like to share that I didn't ask you?
One of the things that we've been talking about is trying to tear down the old PTL, now Morningstar Tower.
How many years? I mean, come on, that dates back. It's almost like, would it be more cost effective to level it or to restore it? And why is it taking so long to simply...
My hair was not gray when this all began. That's how long this has been going on. So we've won every step of the way. We won at circuit court. We've won at the Court of Appeals. However, recently Morningstar has appealed to the South Carolina Supreme Court, and they've agreed to hear the case, or a couple of issues in the case. They've also filed a federal lawsuit against the county in which they are alleging that we violate the Religious Freedom Act.
So this is why it gets complicated.
That's where it gets very complicated.
And
so they're claiming that it is a place of worship. I'm not sure that tower is a place of worship, but I'm going to let the courts figure that out. But the county continues to move forward with that. And I guess the news I can report is the tower is still there, and as long as litigation goes on, it will stay there.
Okay, but we have a hospital that's coming now, so.
And that's, if you think about it, how many years? 15 years in the making to give us a hospital.
That's to get started.
It is, and that's exciting. I
exciting.
hope they'll build that hospital quickly.
Yes.
And in fact, I've met with SCDOT officials to begin to talk about traffic patterns along 160 and 21 and how we're going to get ambulances and cars in and out of an already busy intersection.
Right.
But while we're talking about 160, one of the most exciting things to me is we're about to stop all left-hand turns on Highway 160 between Pleasant Road and Munn Road.
Nice.
So if you were to get off the interstate and you were going to turn towards TGK, you would no longer be able to turn left into QT. Now, is that going to hurt QT? No, because you can go to the light, make a left at the light, and still get to QT.
Yes.
But what it's really going to do is reduce traffic accidents, and it's going to allow traffic to flow. You're not going to be able to just make that left, that free-ranging 3-lane left into Kingsley anymore. We're going to make you go to the light. But these are things to try to make traffic work better and be safer. I've been working on this for a year. I'm very excited. Our goal is to have it done by August. And you're going to see concrete medians. This isn't just signs. This is actual concrete median running through the middle of the road to stop it from happening.
Well, that's it for this edition of Miller Realty Group's Talk of the Town Carolinas. Hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling your home, remember to call Carmen or go to homesfortmill.com. While you're there, you can check out past episodes of Talk of the Town Carolinas. And remember what Carmen says, live where you love and love where you live. Until next time, this is Patty Mercer. Bye-bye.